You may find with some people that you associate with, there isn't any growth going on. There isn't any association, really. You might be working too hard for it, and it might be dissatisfactory when you do the work because the growth, like you feed, and then it goes nowhere. And you know how it should be. You get, most people have the general sense of like, okay, so the darn bean sprout should come up within 7 days. Then after a while, you just get this feeling like, okay, so why am I even doing this? That's what the feeling you'll get from your narcissist when you find out that there's a narcissist there. They aren't genuinely interested in the people around them in their lives, even though they would. It seems like that they would insist that they include you somehow, and especially, let's talk about sex. They would break in there, and then that's how you'll see that they just don't care. Really, they didn't care. It was more like a game, and if you're in a narcissist's life, it's because they are going to use you for something. Most likely money, or they like to look a certain way. So if you have a social life where they can use you to get a foothold and look like something. Money, though, is one thing they're try. But one of the biggest things that they take from you is your time. That's one of the bigger things that you'll just get burned about, because usually the time that you waste with some people, you expect it to go somewhere. Like, they it grows into something, and it catches momentum. If you're trying to get a romantic spark, I mean, if you thought you got one with, you don't see, first of all, you just don't have a relationship with a narcissist. If you pay close attention, you never really had one. They went all about it in a boundary breaking way. You can see that, you know, uh, you were vulnerable somehow. Somehow you are weakened. Maybe you're ill of health or something was wrong. You needed help, and there they are. And it's like, almost like, well, just in general, a narcissist will not be there by your side unless you're sick too. They don't hang around people that are healthy, not for very long. It's because healthy people want to have a conversation that starts to, if you're going to enmesh yourself over time. See, here we come back to the time issue. Healthy people usually start communications that kind of goes along the line of, what are we doing? How are we now? And where can it go, or where is it going? Or let's just, and um, the thing about me being a transformational guru, and I'll just tell you right now, I'm a tantric master. I don't claim to be. I can't show you that I'm a sex therapist. Uh, I don't have credentials, or that I'm a tantric master or even enlightened, but I have helped several people with whom I know that we've come together for a reason. It's just, I can get into the dialogue as to what we're doing in each other's lives. So I don't pass up the occasion. I'm not a sleepwalker here. You know, I am a woman who values her sexuality. Now here comes fucking minute 5 talking about on the new moon with Venus and Scorpio. Women, we are enduring a lot just because there's a lot of silence. And she is the one who's being silent. And I'm like, no, let's not do that. And in my life, I'm not associating now. I'm fucking talking to a fucking screen over YouTube. I have no social life, it seems. It's terrible. I don't know what's going to come next with me or humanity. We'll see, right? Anyway, getting back to when we did have a social life, the ladies and women look up to me. You know, men seem to be in competition with women. Men and women are in competition with each other. There's something going on that I always stood back from both of them. And I think some of them, if they had any kind of real intelligence in their mind, they would notice that about me. And they do. So when I'm associating, it's like I get a little respect that way. It's like, well, what are women doing and what are men doing? That's weird. Can we just stay as being purely aware? When are we going to start having fun? You know, I always wondered. So there's always something that women would look up to me about. I mean, come on, babes. I'm beating around the fucking bush here. Would you stop it? Do I have to shave it? No, I'm just kidding. You know, really, God, you know, I'm somebody who's 50 years old, and I'll say, you know, I am equivalent to a sex therapist to the men that I've been with because I bring them up. I bring them up to at least look. You have a woman's body here now. Would you like to Would you like to know her sex or not? And it turns out they really like it. And guess what? It's fun for me. Not saying that I don't like men. Hell, I love men's sex. They're just a little quick, and women aren't. And I have made sure to slow men down. That's all I'm saying. And with Venus and Scorpio, God, I mean, what's the dialogue to say? Would you tell them to slow down? Now, why? See, this is what's weird. Men might say, "Oh, she has trouble with it." No, 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 no. We just take a little longer. I mean, it takes a lot longer for something good to come around. Have you ever heard that? It takes time for great things, right? Rome was not built in a day. So it makes sense to prolong pleasure. Women tend to um, do that naturally. They start 3 days before, I mean, you could pay attention. So if you want anything to do with her, you're going to have to get into that realm or forget it. You know, I just say, you know, you stay away and go over there and masturbate in your own realm and fine. But if you're interested in the opposite sex, they say opposite for a reason. And she is actually doing a lot of things that are natural to her to make you feel comfortable, which is not really pleasing to her. This is the truth. She, like, say, when she fakes an orgasm, that's something actually that she needs to know how to do to help you along. You know, if I don't want to talk about it here too hard, but the actual orgasm that she has might be a little bit much for the man to even try and get near a lot of time because of his temperament. Just it's over before it began. Takes practice. Okay, this is just in-depth talk about some things here. I don't want to but so getting back to so a woman naturally has, one of the things that she has is to to yield herself, to submit and yield and share and put up with an onslaught, being overwhelmed physically, and reining that in, really being able to slow him down. But there's the quality in her being to be yielding. Of course, the man should have that too, but it's a big question because men are driven differently and they're just going by a drive. They're going sometimes. The reason why I'd say slow them down and at least make them open their eyes and feel that, well, do you know that there's another body here? A lot of times it's just a blind, you can't, if you're a woman, all I'm saying, okay, now this is what needs to be talked about. Women aren't talking. Is you have to wake men up on the way to the sexual place. You're going to a place together, and are you going to include her or not? Are you going to include him? Are you aware of each other's nature? Do you even care? All I'm saying is, like, okay, this is what comes up. Why? Well, hello, new moon with Venus conjunct that in Scorpio. And boy, it's hard to talk about, but like, why is the concern about that? Because what if, okay, first of all, we are reproducing. What are we reproducing? What are we reproducing? I would say, let alone just humanity reproducing human bodies out of the sexual act, but um, it's the creative being who we are. Um, when we're feeling good, when we do something right, it attracts more of things that are right and good for us just because we're feeling good. So that's what we're conducting, and it's the creation of creation to make it all wonderful and good and well. And all of that sounds like, oh, peachy clean and blah, blah, blah. Well, there is a system out there that is geared 100%. I mean, it is hard at work to um, to knock all of that back within the human organism down to why are they circumcising men? No, 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 no. And of course, don't circumcise women. Leave them alone. And if anything, mind your own business. And minding your own business gets them interested in whatever that business is. And if they happen to walk in and you making love with each other, make sure you're doing it right so you don't give them a wrong idea. And how do you know you're doing it right? Let's get back to the simple thing, babe. Simple. Smile on your face. Feeling good? Get that smile on your face, feeling good. And then what? You get whatever you want, right? You open the door, you ask the universe, I feel good. Can I have what I want? Hell yeah. Because why? Well, because first of all, you feel good and you're acting like you already have it. So here you are. That's the key. And if you're not, God, that's the basics. And God, let's talk about sex. The primal what screw in the foundation, man. It's like, how are we doing this? And if women don't start talking, saying something, at least, you don't say much. Of course you say. You're speaking to your men. The conversations that come up with the Scorpio, Venus, sun, moon, new moon, eclipse, conjunction. Part of the reason I'm yelling is because I know the microphone is bad here, and there's a breathing computer. What we're supposed to do, what's coming up, I mean, if you're doing it right, and what you need to do is, however hard it feels, I mean, just speak honestly. This is the conversation is kind of like this. I understand our relationship is this kind of quality, and certain things won't work here, but I like what works here, and I understand I work here and you work here for me, and this is what I appreciate and how we can work, and I would like that to work out, or however. But what I'm saying basically is the communication has got to be honest, just upfront and raw. Just say that this is the reason why we are together. Don't forget it, and let's put it out on the table and not blow anything out of proportion and expect anything more or less. Thank you. And if there's anything more or less, then can we allow that space in each other and respect each other? Why live in the dark? See, some people are living in the dark You don't want to be around that because they're not going to communicate much. From there, you have to have something of substance to begin to start communicating. And then with what we have going on now between men and women in relationships that may or may not last forever, it doesn't matter. The fact is you have to be honest upfront with just yourself. Say, look, this is the way I feel about it. I really like this part, and I know it's together because of this, and we can make this work out, but I know this will never work, and there isn't any reason to look at all the darkness over here. And let me tell you what's mine and what's yours with all of that energy. And can we, boy, be careful of the narcissist who doesn't see anybody there. If they're the worst, and just they've discarded you a long time ago, and they don't respect your efforts to make anything real out of anything, because they don't see you as being anything real. And of course, they don't find anything in themselves as being anything real. How can they? But God, don't want to waste a whole conversation on just narcissists. I'm just talking about these are these times now, babe, and that's why I'm here. I mean, hardly. I should take a shower first, maybe. Really, we all need someone to love, and we all need to be able to go into that space and release and be who we are, and feel safe in those places. And that place for a lot of us can be sex. It is a place, and that's what's coming up with the Venus in Scorpio. Is like, first of all, where is it, right? I mean, good luck with everybody. I bet you anything. There's a lot of separation going on right now with people, even though they get along. It's just like, well, why are we not getting along? It's just that Venus doing some pretty gnarly work here, and it's going to kick off, I would say, the Pluto season. What we have to look forward to. I was talking about earlier here, Pluto moving into Aquarius, just a huge change for humanity. I'm restless. Everybody's restless. For me, it's just when you realize that you've been wasting your time with a narcissist, babes, man, just thank God for the experience of that. Maybe you have some juice left to find somebody who's worthy. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to find somebody who's capable of growing. It can't be just that we are pacifying and babysitting and playing with these people, that after a while it's like, well, did you notice how I understood? And like, no, I don't care how you understand, or I'm not going to sit and talk to you about any deeper understandings. This is just a game I'm playing. Really, it's just my life, not your life. They don't, man, they could be some cruel fucking people, man. And right now is the time to just see it, feel it, with Venus in Scorpio, conjunct the sun and the moon that's going to be eclipsing. Um, we have to get rid of these things that just keeps an open wound. And it's like, man, you know what? I'm healing. And just because you're not healed doesn't mean that I didn't heal. And really, because you're not healed and I gave it a shot here, you don't appreciate it. A lot of narcissists don't know that we're supposed to get something done with each other. They're getting something done, yeah. You look at it, somehow they're padding their bank accounts. Somehow they're using you. They can get into your financing. They can get into your health. They can start fucking with your health, really. It's not a mystery that you have some kind of weird ailment come up around the same time that you got physically intimate with a narcissist. They'll make you agitate and vibrate, and like they'll finally get you into a shitty fucking mood, like a permanent poopy cloud. It's like it's like the moments before PTSD. You just got to realize, oh no, and you got to fucking get some alone time. Woo! And that's what people are up against on a massive scale They don't know that they're politicians and they're everybody. A lot of people that are posing as knowing better than you could possibly know. They don't have a fair conversation for you. That's how you know. You can't ask them a question. They're just laying it down on the line. And the problem is, a lot of people, they just settle for it. They say, oh, yeah, you know better. Thanks a lot, you fuckers. We're having to undo all that enmeshment that you're causing out there. It's just disgusting to think about it. It's like, really? At your service. Why don't all of that just needs to be fucking flushed into the ocean? Thank you.